Hello, I'm Lisa Michaels, the host of What's Between Us. If you're watching What's Between Us live on Wednesday night, then you can join in the conversation. But not quite. We're getting dangerously close to the not being the G-rated show that we are. So everything that you say has to be couched in comments that a small child would not recognize as being offensive in any way, shape, fashion, and or form. So you don't want to like pick up a whole meal and things like that.
Right.
You got to get a feeling. No, it's because you want to leave as quickly as possible. It's best to have those coffee drinks like in the middle of the day at lunchtime or something. So I got to get back to work. So and that's mean. I don't mean to be mean, but you know, I had the funniest story about that. Freddie, I have to share. I think I might have shared it once before, but who knows? I'll do it again. This friend of mine, she went on one of those coffee dates, met him at Starbucks, right? He was one of those ones where he just showed the picture of the face, right? That's
Oh, yeah,
it.
I've seen many of those.
The face, okay? Which means, of course, what? If somebody just shows you their face.
He's got a pot belly.
A pot belly would be putting it nicely. Apparently, this man was massive. And he gets there, not only is he massive, we talked about this on the show too, he's cheap. He gets there, and they're in line together, and he didn't offer at all to pay for her coffee. I mean, I'm sorry. Men out there, if you aren't going to be willing to even pay for her coffee or offer, and even if she offers, you don't allow her to do it. I'm just so fed up with that whole thing. Anyway, that's a little dug up my box here. But
Yeah, you know.
but anyway, so now this
a guy doesn't always have to do that, though. That's not an always thing. I do.
I'm sorry, first
because
date. Yeah, no, yes, he does. We're going to go into that.
I do it,
Okay,
but I've had
wanna
to debate with guys who don't like to do
on
that.
On the museum DVD in there, get that one ready. Get that one ready to rock and or roll, because we're going to show this puppy dog. We're gonna get this bad boy out there. No, okay, he didn't pay for her drink, right? We're back at my story about a really bad first Match.com date. And so then then it's his turn. She buys her coffee. She's like, okay, fine. And then he gets up there to order what he's going to order. You know what he ordered? A cup of hot water.
Yeah.
Hot water.
Well,
then
he has a sensitive stomach.
Then he pulls, this is the best. Then he pulls out of his pocket his own tea bag. He brings his own tea bag. He's so cheap, he brings his own tea bag.
That's not good.
Oh, that's ugly. That's ugly. That's just horrible.
Guys, don't do that.
How did she do?
We want to try and see if you can find the one where who should pay.
Just say no, I will pay for it.
Okay, you think that's the right thing to do? What if she asks you out?
I still pay. Just say no, I will pay for it.
Okay, you think that's the right thing to do? What if she asks you out?
I still pay for it.
You should pay for it. And so that's my way of testing their ability to share and be fair and things like that.
And generous.
Yes, generous.
What if she offers to pay?
I would say next time.
I guess I'm kind of old-fashioned. I do expect the guy to pay. On the first date, I let them make the attempt first, and then if they don't, then I will.
And then if they let you, how do you feel about the guy?
Generally, he has to be really good looking to go out with him again. I don't like paying for him.
Okay.
And then I see if he's going to move towards it. If he's not, then I offer to split it or share it.
There was even those few that was a disaster. It's a complete disaster. And so I know this person's not going to want to see me again. I know I'm not going to want to see her again. Who should pay?
This is the first one, and this is a coffee date, and it's a disaster. I don't care under any circumstances. I don't care if she looks like your great aunt Susie, and she's like 10 million pounds overweight and way much older than she said she was. You still pay for it. It's called being a gentleman. It's called having good manners. It's called setting yourself apart from the crowd. You have to pay for the first little encounter. If you don't, loser with a capital L.
I agree.
Women, call in.
You know, I had an incident once where it was a complete disaster, and we both admitted during the coffee date it was a complete disaster. And
So
she
what,
offered.
She offered
to
to
pay.
the coffee.
She offered to, no, she offered to pay her half. She offered to pay for her
You
half.
haven't already gotten it because Starbucks you stand in line and get it before you have the coffee.
She insulted me during the coffee date. She insulted me, and I said, "Yes, please help." And then I walked away, and I didn't ever want to see her again. In that situation there, I paid for mine, but I accepted her invitation for her to pay hers.
Well, if she offered to pay, then that's probably I don't know. No, I still don't think.
No,
so.
I agree. I disagree.
Sorry.
No, guy,
sure all
you
you
need,
men
for
out
the
there
first date, you do
women
need to
call
pay.
in. Give me a call.
You do need to pay, and I'm telling you, you need to pay, or you're in trouble. You don't. I would walk away feeling a little guilty if I didn't do that.
You know what
But
it
you're not
says?
going to make a fan with her. But if it's a disaster, then I don't. Why?
Sorry.
Why?
Sorry. Okay. Because that means you're a user, number one.
I'm a
You're
user?
There, you're a user. You just
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying you guys. I'm not saying that you need to tell her to pay. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if it's a total disaster and if she offers to pay, and I don't want to see this woman again, and she does not want to see me again, I'm going to accept her invitation for her to pay. Now, I will not ask her to pay. That would be bad, guys. Don't do that. But I will accept her invitation.
It's not even just asking. If you sit there and wait forever, and the check has been sitting there suspiciously, obviously on the table, just like staring at you, and you don't offer to pay, then the woman feels obligated to offer. And
Well,
and
you
she
know,
knows,
first of all, women are really good about not doing
Okay,
anything,
just
sitting
a
there with their hands on their sides.
that's
They're
true.
they're very good at that.
No,
you know,
not
and
really.
the guys need to. That's just what they need to do. Okay, now let me ask you
You're
this.
gonna be single for a long time.
No,
Got news for you.
I'm talking
You're
about
gonna
that
be
one
single for a long
situation. I'm not talking about
wait, we got
one
Lee on the phone.
situation.
What's your thoughts on this?
Well, my thoughts are, being a guy, obviously, and I'm a little old-fashioned, but I'm pretty sure the guy should be paying, at least for the first time out.
I agree.
mean, unless you have an understanding and you're friends and you're going out, if they want to offer, great. But I really think the guy should be paying.
Okay, Lee, let me tell you that situation. Did you hear my debate?
Mm-hmm.
About if it's a total disaster and she offers to pay, what do you do?
Boy, I think it'd be case by case, but if she offered, I wouldn't take anything less than Dutch if it was a disaster.
Okay.
And that would have happened.
So Lee agrees with me.
Well, sure.
Lee agrees with me.
Okay, well,
Only
you
if
know,
that
I guess in
happened,
those
then.
situations, you know for sure you're never going to see the person again, and so she doesn't care that you're a cheapskate, so I suppose you don't really have anything to lose. I
have
still
nothing to
think
lose.
the very fact that you would resent paying for it, so here's the deal. We don't want to hear about it. We don't want to hear about it.
Hear about what?
We don't want to hear about who's paying for what. I had this one guy, the guy in the video from when I went on the trip. That was the very beginning. I don't know if you saw it with Bob Woodruff. Not Bob, but the other guy. Very wealthy guy. He went out with my aunt and I while we were in New York and paid for a whole bunch of paid for the breakfast. And then we went out in the Central Park and he talked about, I didn't really order anything, but I still picked up the whole tab and talking about it. We don't want to hear about it. We don't want to hear about it. You should be generous and sound like you are concerned about who's paying for this, that, and the other thing. The term cheap is right there. And you don't have to have money or not have money to be cheap. You could be cheap one way or the other. I've met some of the wealthiest people. They're the cheapest people I've ever met. It's about generosity. Am I right, Lee?
Absolutely. I'll tell you what. I'm definitely not the wealthiest person in the world. I'm feeling okay, but I'm not cheap.
Good for you.
By any means, and
How is
anybody
cheap,
around me.
How does cheap? Have you noticed women that are cheap that have that kind of thing never ever offer to pay ever anything?
I've been around a few. It affects my opinion a little bit. I mean, I like a little generosity. At least I like the offer. It's kind of nice. I don't ever accept it. I mean, you very rarely.
Would it bother you if she not only never offered, but always talked about how much she paid for this or how much this person owes her, and that sort of
that's
thing?
not good. You don't want to do that. What if she invites you out? And I had the situation where a woman invited me out to a date, and she said we should go here. It was a very nice restaurant downtown, and she ordered hors d'oeuvres. I mean, this was all she wanted to spend time with me. Okay, she invited me out, and then the check's sitting there. Then what you should do?
What do you think?
We already know
What
it.
do you
She
think,
already
Lee?
knows
What do you
she
think? What do
thinks.
you think, Lee?
That would be a tough one. I mean, I would ultimately probably pick up the check, and just because that's the kind of guy I am. But,
Amazing. See that?
Well, I don't-
This is an indication more than anything else, and this is the last thing I want to say because we have to get off the show because we only have like a minute 30 left, of how generous and thoughtful and considerate